Hi there, this is Wolf from Armoury-Terrain, and today I'm going to show you how to turn some scrap foam into a mug for Larp that you can throw at people. This entire mug is only made out of foam. There is no core, therefore it is safe to throw at people. Now, to begin. Firstly, you're going to need some scrap foam big enough to cut these pieces out of. Let me see if I can get this focused. Okay, so your biggest piece is a rectangle 90mm by 275mm. You then have an 80mm diameter circle and two handle pieces, both 80mm tall by 50mm wide. In addition to that, you need two strips of thin craft foam, 10mm wide by 350mm long. Right then, let's get into the project. So I've cut all my pieces of foam because you don't need to see me do that. This piece of foam I've then beveled on my belt sander. Don't worry, you don't need a belt sander, you can just use your rotary tool, which I'm sure everybody who's watching this sort of channel has. Okay, so once you have all the pieces cut out, we're then detailing them. And by detailing, I mean we're melting in a exaggerated wood grain pattern. So to do that, firstly you draw your image and your wood grain. The width between each of these I've just eyeballed and then used my square to bring in the width. And luckily it's just about right. So with your nice hot soldering iron, it's just a matter of using a good angle so you don't get too much of the cell popping, you get more of a dent. So you're putting in the dividing line between the pieces and then you're just burning the wood grain in. So it's another lovely day here in the Armoury. The day after tomorrow it becomes winter, and yet today in sunny Brisbane it's still a minimum of 24 degrees. I'm out here at 7:30 in the morning, still in a t-shirt and shorts, because hey, it's Queensland. Okay, now that I've finished putting all the wood graining into this, it's time to glue it together. So with your contact adhesive, using your key, because as I keep saying, anyone that uses scissors to open up a tin is banned from here for a minimum of 2 weeks. So opening up the contact adhesive and using a paddle pop stick, which I seem to have misplaced. There it is. So with the paddle pop stick, the first thing to do is glue your two handle sections together. Now glue the flat side to the flat side. Don't worry about the texture, we're going to remove all of that with the rotary tool, or Dremel, because Dremel seems to be the best brand that I can find in rotary tools. So hey Dremel, if you ever want to sponsor a channel, pick me. So you glue that together. Being that it's only very light construction, you only have to put the contact adhesive on one side. Two sides would give you a much stronger bond, but with this it's just not necessary. Next, the sides of the mug. Now on this one I will put contact adhesive on both sides, because otherwise with the bend in the foam, and yes, you should pre-roll your foam before you try and do this, because otherwise it doesn't work. Now you can either use a heat gun to do it, or you can just roll it in your hand, because it's only a little bit of foam and it doesn't matter if it's a perfect circle or not. So a little bit of contact adhesive on either side, and also all the way around the inside of it, where we're going to glue the bottom in. Now this mug won't hold liquid, and if you put, say, a can of soft drink in it and try and drink out of it, the handle is likely to tear off because it's just not designed to hold that sort of weight. What it is designed to do is to be able to throw at people without hurting them. So now, with the bottom of it, put it roughly in the middle and just roll this around. Or, more likely, glue these bits together and then sit the bottom in. So this should only take, not very long at all. Set. There we go. And then put the bottom into it. And the bottom will make sure it stays round-ish. Don't worry if it's not perfectly round, it's not an issue. Now, what I'd normally do at this point is put some masking tape on it all the way around and let it set for a couple of minutes. But since we're on film and I don't want to wait that sort of long period, I'm just going to stick it like this and hope for the best. As long as you've pre-rolled your foam, it should stick fairly well, like so. Now, we've pretty much done with the glue until it comes time to put the handle on. Now with the handle, what we're going to do is take the corners off, and yes, this is not a knife, I'm just using it as a marker, and then round them off down until you've gotten rid of all the texture. And for that, I'm just using a Dremel or rotary tool with So that didn't take too long. We now have a handle. So, cleaning my workspace up just a little bit so I don't glue dust into everything. That's what aprons are for after all. Right, opening up the glue again, using the key. Taking any loose furry bits off the handle. Now putting a bit of contact adhesive on the handle. And then attaching it to the join line. Get back in focus. To the join line on the mug, which helps disguise where the join is just a little bit. You could use hot glue for this. I just don't like hot glue because I burn myself all the time. Right, now for these straps. These straps, depending on the paint scheme of your mug, can either be painted up as a metal band or as a leather band. Both are quite valid for the type of mug that this is. And what they do is not only hold the staves together that make up the mug, but they help hold the handle on. So contact adhesive all the way down along it, and same with the other one. Right, that would be the alarm for the school next door. What a delightful bell to say, you're now allowed into the playground. Which means it's 8:15. So, I was a little bit off on my timing earlier. Right. So with these strips, we're putting them on the handle. Yep, on the handle. And then running them around the mug, just as level as you can. And if you don't get it quite level on the handle, like I've not here, that side's longer than this side, I'll just come back in with the knife later and clean that up to cut it to the same length. And same with the second strip. Stick it to the handle first, then roll it around the mug. And that pretty much gives you a finished mug. Now you think these bright green strips look pretty horrible. Well, I can tell you that the other mug that I'm about to show you was all this colour pink to start with, and with just a little bit of craft paint bought from the local cheap shop, just an acrylic paint, I've been able to paint it black first and then add some brown and some silver, and that gives you a mug. Now this is a scrap foam project, so you don't need full sheets or anything else like that. It's just using bits and pieces of foam, and then you can throw them at people. This has been Wolf from Armoury-Terrain saying go out there and make something.